Remain standing a moment. There's one announcement. After the ceremony is over, would you please remain seated, and the ushers then will usher you out or dismiss you as the line moves on. I ask you to stand until the close of the opening prayer. Eternal God, bless all schools, colleges, and universities, and especially Maddock Public School, that they may be lively places for sound learning, new discovery, and the pursuit of wisdom. And grant that those who teach and those who learn may find you to be the source of all truth, through Jesus Christ our Lord. You may be seated. About the time that you graduating people began school, we had a teacher at Maddock by the name of Nikki Steiner. She was a teacher of special education. Nikki liked people. She said everyone has a butterfly within themselves. Butterfly, I think it is a symbol that everyone is a little different from everyone else. Everyone has their own uniqueness, but they're all beautiful. And she felt that everyone was beautiful. And I have butterflies on my mind today as I think about this graduation. And I looked up a book that she gave to Eunice and I way back a long time ago, and the name of the book is Hope for the Flowers. It's a little book that has cartoons and script for writing, but it has an important story to tell, and I would just like to go through that story with you today for a thought for our graduation. She taught each of her students for a butterfly. And she said, you know, flowers need butterflies. And I said, well, what are flowers? And she said, flowers are the beautiful things in life. If we don't bring out the butterflies in people, we never see the beautiful things of living and of life. And every person has a butterfly, she said. You know, but in nature, butterflies pollinate the flowers so that they may reproduce, and we have flowers for the next year. And so butterflies are very important little creatures. I'm going to go through this book a little bit with you. It's, as I said, Hope for the Flowers. And flowers, I think, are the beautiful things, experiences, the beautiful things that surround us in life. And it's a silly little story. It's a silly little story with an important meaning. So bear with me. Once upon a time, a tiny striped caterpillar burst from the egg, which had been home for so long. I'm hungry, he thought, and straightway began to eat the leaf he was born on. And he ate another leaf, and another, and got bigger, and bigger, and bigger. Until one day he stopped eating and thought, there must be more to life than just eating and getting bigger. This life is getting dull. And so he ventures out from the leaves, and he's crawling around on the ground, and once he comes to a sight, and this sight that he sees is a caterpillar pillar. It's a pillar that goes clear up into the clouds made of caterpillars. They're all wiggling and squirming and trying to get higher on this caterpillar pillar. And he observes this caterpillar pillar for a while, and then he plunges in to the pile. The caterpillar's name is Stripe, and Stripe's head was bursting with new drive. He couldn't get his thoughts together. Every second, another crawler passed him and disappeared into the pillar. There was only one thing to do. He pushed himself in. The first moments on the pile were a shock. Stripe was pushed and kicked and stepped on from every direction. It was climb or be climbed. No more caterpillars on Stripe's pile. They became only threads and obstacles which he must turn into steps and opportunities. But some days it seems he couldn't manage to keep his place. It was especially then that an anxious shadow nagged inside. "What's at the top?" it whispered. "Where are we going?" And he'd have this voice within him. "Where are we going?" And one day that voice became so real he answered it out loud. He yelled back, "I don't know. There's no time to think about it." A little yellow caterpillar was crawling alongside him, and she gasped, "What did you say?" And Stripe answered, "I was just talking to myself. It really isn't important. I was just wondering where we're going." And he struggles away on this pile and works away and finally gets discouraged. And so he leaves the pillar with his little friend, and they crawl away, and they really are enjoying themselves, but especially the other little caterpillar. But Stripe gets restless, and he couldn't help wondering about his life. There still must be more to life. And so he decides to go back to the pillar and try again. He's bigger and stronger now. He thinks surely he will get to the top. And his little friend stayed behind. Her name was Yellow. Yellow was desolate without Stripe. And she thinks to herself, "What in the world do I really want?" One day, a gray-haired caterpillar hanging upside down on a branch surprised her. He seemed caught in some hairy stuff. "You seem in trouble," she said. "Can I help?" "No, my dear, I have to do this to become a butterfly." Yellow's whole inside leapt. Butterfly? That word, she thought. "Tell me, sir, what is a butterfly?" And here's the definition. It is what you are meant to become. It flies with beautiful wings and joins the earth to heaven, and it drinks only nectar. Without butterflies, the world would soon have very few flowers. "It can't be true," gasped Yellow. "How can I believe there's a butterfly inside you or me when all I see is a fuzzy worm?" I like that. "How does one become a butterfly?" she asked. "You must want to fly so much that you're willing to give up being a caterpillar." "You mean to die?" asked Yellow, remembering the three friends who fell out of the sky. "Yes and no," the little caterpillar answered. What looks like you will die, but what really you will still live. Life is changed, not taken away. Isn't that different from those who die without ever becoming butterflies? And so she listens to the instructions, spins a cocoon, and after a short time emerges as a butterfly, beautiful and free and happy. Well, this is a little parable that the author tells through this story. It seems to me to say that we don't find the butterfly in ourselves by always comparing ourselves to another person. Oh, that person went to this great university or that college and I only went here. Or that person got a job with so-and-so and I am only doing this. Or look at that person has money and they're traveling and doing all these exciting things. And we don't get to be a butterfly by comparing to somebody else or by competing with another person. That is not the prescription on how to become a butterfly. But we find the butterfly within ourselves by looking within ourselves, believing in ourselves. Surely there is a butterfly in here because God has designed me in such a way that I have a gift that is unique and beautiful, different from anybody else, but precious and needed not only by me, but by the world in order to make life a little more comfortable and beautiful. You know, without the butterflies, there are no flowers. And we have to keep saying to ourselves, yes, there is something wonderful in me, and I'm going to find it. You know, I think I think this is a very important idea or theme or truth. And I don't think it ever occurred to me before 28. Before I was 28, I began to think about what is my own identity? What is my own uniqueness? And I'm sure, you know, it won't take you folks that long, but don't be discouraged. Keep believing in yourself. Keep looking for that butterfly. And you know, it didn't all at once appear one day, but you find it throughout your life. You keep learning about yourself, your wonderful self. And I think if you can find yourself and be happy with yourself and see the beauty in yourself, you most certainly will be successful. And I certainly wish this for you.
Faculty, administration, parents, friends, and relatives, good afternoon, and welcome to the graduation of the class of 1988. Graduation. Wow, it's finally here, the day we've all dreamed about. I still can't believe our senior year is finally over. You often hear people reminisce about their senior year as being the most exciting, the best, the most carefree time of their lives. And it is. But the fun part of your senior year is only part of the picture. As a senior, you're making major decisions about the future, often for the first time in your life. And you'll be breaking further away from your friends and family by moving away from home, going off to another city, and taking on more responsibilities. You're saying goodbye to an era in your life when you were generally protected, provided for, and to a certain extent able to make mistakes and know that your family was there to help you work through them. But by the time you reach your senior year, you often realize that the decisions you make, and the mistakes too, are indeed your own. Seniors also have a lot to deal with emotionally. One of the first things you face is that you're going to be trading a known environment for an unknown one. Whether you leave home or not, your environment will change. This can be exciting, especially if you feel trapped by the image your classmates and teachers have of you, or if you're just tired of seeing the same faces day after day. You're going to go off to a new world, whether it be college, a new city, or a first job. The world starts to see you as an adult, and now you have the freedom and responsibilities of an adult. But usually this prospect is also frightening. Fear of the unknown is also paired with the real sadness of the known. We'll soon be leaving our friends, many of whom we've known for so long, a reality that a lot of people want to put off for as long as possible. But high school is over now, and it's time to move on. I would like to encourage all of my classmates to further their education by attending college. And education is the most important step you can take to achieve your goals in life. Even if you don't know what you want to major in or what career field you might choose, that's okay, since the average person changes his or her career about 7 times in a lifetime. Choosing a career today is more difficult than ever before. In the past, children tended to follow in their parents' occupational footsteps. Farmers' sons became farmers, and the sons of business and professional men choose similar vocations. Today, however, education and a wider variety of occupational choices open literally thousands of different career choices. Your future life will be strongly influenced by your occupational choice. This choice may determine whether you work or be unemployed. Your choice will also affect your chances of success or failure. I believe that every one of my classmates has the talent and determination it takes to become a success. If you will give a little extra time and effort and not give up, you won't have to wonder later on how your life would have been different if you had. My advice to my classmates is to try a little harder or work just a little longer than you think you can to make the difference between success or failure. I would like to thank the faculty for the excellent education I've received and also for all the extra hours they put in working with us. I'd like to thank my parents for the guidance, love, and caring they've always given me. And finally, I'd like to thank my classmates and friends for always being there, for encouraging me through my successes and cheering me up through my disappointments. I would like to end with a poem to my classmates by Cindy Runn. Friendship defies age and ignores distance. It weathers the hard times and shares the good. Together, we have found this. Our friendship has provided acceptance and understanding in a world that pushes people apart. But I will always remain with the memories of the good times we have shared, knowing how fortunate I am to be able to call you my friend.
Our class got together and prepared a little slideshow, so I hope you enjoy it. It goes through our younger, an individual picture of our younger age and then some fun times within the past year.
How can we close our eyes until we open up our hearts? We got to share and show how much we care. Right from the moment that we start, seems like overnight we see the world a different light. Somehow
Tracy Holje.
difference is lost. come to take your message everywhere. She knows it'll move you up.
Lisa Nelson.
Let's show them Canada.
Lisa Nelson. Ricky Olsen.
Don't you know it's not enough?
Janet Rasmussen. Janet Rasmussen. John Becker. John Peppers. Judy Rick. Tom Williams. These are just some fun pictures. I guess you can think what you want about them.
Another night's rest, and no one to send
When I first sat down to write this speech for graduation, I really didn't know what I was going to talk about. There were a lot of things I wanted to say, but I didn't really know where to start. So, being your typical teenager, I procrastinated and put it off. Well, a couple of words ago, 2 words popped into my mind. A couple days ago, 2 words popped into my mind. Salutatorian address. Oh yeah. So once again, I started brainstorming. It then occurred to me that I really had no idea what salutatorian meant, other than that I was second in my class. So, using my education, I looked it up. Webster told me that a salutatorian is one who gives an opening or welcoming address at a high school or college commencement. Now I had a direction. So with that, I welcome you to the commencement exercises of Maddock Public Schools class of 1988. But along with welcome, I also feel I should say thank you. Thank you to all of you. You see, each and every one of you has helped us in one way or another, whether it was our parents or relatives who guided and loved us, or whether you were a teacher who taught us. You may have been a sports fan, yelling with our cheerleaders and supporting the teams we've played on. Or you may have just congratulated us on something we've done and the various activities the members of this class are involved in. FFA, FHA, band course, just to name a few. In supporting us, you've supported the school. And knowing that the school is supported by the community makes it much more enjoyable. A sense of pride is established, and for that, we thank you. We also owe thanks to those who work in this school, the faculty, the cooks, the bus drivers, the janitors. We owe a special thanks to the teachers. Though we were not always receptive at the time, they've done their best to provide us with knowledge. And more importantly, they've taught us to learn, which is so very vital. For when a man ceases to learn, he ceases to live. Well, salutatorian means welcome, right? Well, in that sense, in a short time, all my classmates and I will be salutatorians. For in a few months, we'll all be welcoming new lifestyles. The answer of, is there a life after high school, will be answered. The answer undoubtedly is yes. It will be tougher, it may be uncomfortable at first, and we will have to work harder. There will be bad times and good times, just as there are bad and good times in high school. But there are a few things that I've found that make the bad times not so bad, and the good times even better. One is something called PMA. PMA stands for Positive Mental Attitude. Our attitude towards something is obviously going to affect how hard we work at it. Having a positive attitude enables us to make the task more enjoyable, and more importantly, we work to the best of our abilities. Now granted, we're not going to be positive all the time, nor is everyone around us going to be so optimistic. It takes all kinds. It took the optimist to build the airplane, and it took the pessimist to build the parachute. However, if we make a conscious effort to maintain a positive attitude, then life will be just a bit easier and a whole lot more enjoyable. There's something else that's kept me going, something called dreams. Hold it now. This is not what some of you are thinking. This is not going to turn into a speech on goals. Goals are important, but I found something better. Dreams. Goals are oftentimes established knowing what we can do. Dreams show us just what we are capable of doing. A couple of years ago, I started dreaming of attending the United States Air Force Academy. I called it a dream because at the time I really didn't think I could do it. Well, the harder I dreamt, the harder I worked. Then one day this spring, my dream came true. I now have my appointment to the Air Force Academy. A dream has become a reality, and the two are very much related. I found a quote that makes the relationship between dreams and reality quite clear. It goes something like this: reality sometimes is not as important as the dream, the ideal that gives it meaning. It's also rather ironic that I didn't find this quote in a textbook or reference source. I found it in a piece of colorful fiction. I found this quote in a comic book. A work of imagination and inspiration of dreams. So I guess if I could leave one thought with all my classmates and all of you, it would be to dream and dream big. With that, I'd like to leave you with this poem by Burton Braley entitled The Thinker. Back of the beating hammer by which the steel is wrought, back of the workshop's clamor, the seeker may find the thought that is ever master of iron and steam and steel, that rises above disaster and tramples it under heel. Might to the roaring boiler, force of the engine's thrust, strength of the sweating toiler, gently in these we trust. But back of them stands the schemer, the thinker who drives things through. Back of the job, the dreamer, who's making the dream come true. Thank you.
At this time, I will present the trophies to the honor students. Would Janet Rasmussen, valedictorian for 1988 class, please come forward? Congratulations, Janet. Paul Williams is our salutatorian. I think that's right, yeah. For 1988. Will you please? Oh, you're on this side too. Our other two honor students are Tracy Holje and John Sefrud. Would they please come forward to be recognized? We had a couple honor awards to them, but we screwed up the names, so we'll get that to them later on. Congratulations, John. That's it.
At this time, I have the privilege to give two awards to two seniors this year's class. It's the Presidential Academic Fitness Award. This has been started a few years ago and is to recognize academic achievement. The award is allowed to 10% of the graduating class, and this year we have 20, so we have two recipients. The first recipient is stated, presented to Janet Rasmussen in recognition of outstanding academic achievement and meeting the standards of the Presidential Academic Fitness Award program, which means scoring high on the ACT test, which seniors know is not an easy thing at all, and overall academic achievement in the classroom environment. So at this time, Janet, could you come forward? And the second recipient presented to Paul Williams in recognition again of outstanding academic achievement. And listening to their two speeches, I guess you can see why they're recipients. While I'm up here, excuse me, I have a little sore throat, but I got one more award to give out this time, and it's basically a recognition, and the person receiving and myself have both been informed, and this is the recipient of the Paul Holje Award given out by the Ramsey National Bank and Trust Company. It's in the amount of $300, and just knowing from the radius of area of participation, this would be about 1 out of 1,000 students. We have that one, Janet Rasmussen.
Okay, so I'm asleep. At this time, it's listed on your program, class memorials. Before we do that, we'd like to honor our elders, I guess, who have helped us through these many years. Our class advisors, Miss Markestead and Wayne Olson. We have a plaque for them. Wayne is unable to be here, but I know Miss Markestead is, so if she would please come forward. We also have 2 more awards. One to the current principal of this school and who has taught us a lot about life as well as other things, Mr. Gary Ingberg. The other one goes to a real sweetheart of a lady. She's been here ever since we have, and she always does a lot for us. She sits in the office and she does everything just so well. Mavis, if you'd come up here.
I just knew these kids would do this to me. I'll tell you, I got one over on them. I'm prepared. Nikki. I really enjoyed working with these kids, and I think they're a top-notch class. I think they won more blue ribbons and more awards than any class we put through this school. I dare say that. I want to wish them this, my dear friends. Just enough experience seasoned with heartache so that you can separate dreams from illusions. Denial touched with indifference so that you will always try harder. Struggle just a little more to reach your goal or to taste victory. Hard work, lots of it, so that you might grow blisters on your hands but not on your attitudes. Defeat occasionally in order that your backbone may be stiffened and your emotional muscles strengthened. Need so that you will never be afraid to reach out to others for help, nor will fail to comprehend that others may have need of you. Frustration in order that you will have to begin again, to pick up the shattered pieces and know what it is to have to start over. Fear of competition, fear of weakness, and fear of failure, so that you will always avoid being the destructive bees, boastful, blaze, and bored. And faith, so that you will wrap yourself in God as your security blanket and will never fail to acknowledge the stars and stripes as your status symbol. No, I have not offered you the easy path, nor have I tossed out pretty phrases to compliment or win you, but then friendship is like telling it like it is. And life is made of these things that I have offered you. The test is whether you can take it or not. I'd like to say a little prayer for these seniors. Dear God, I ask that you spread a beautiful path for these dear friends. Make the road ahead less burdensome. Fill their days full of love and laughter and joy to everyone they meet. Protect them and guide them daily. Until we meet again, I love you.
Thank you, Mavis. I guess the memorial we have planted is a living memorial. We've purchased a flowering crab, I think that's what it's called, isn't it? Okay. And it's planted to the right of the driveway as you come into the school. And we hope that it will grow and nurture, and it will be a living remembrance of this class and what we've learned. We also leave the amount of money left in our treasury to the school to purchase a new PA system. And that is our class memorial.
At this time, I'd like to call forward the board president, Gail Nelson, and Superintendent Les Kramer, handing out the diplomas. And before I recognize the class and have them come forward, I guess probably the greatest achievement here will be to call them by the rightful names. So often I hear them called by more or less their given names within the school environment, such as maybe a recognized Spit and Swede, and I can go on and name many more. But now I'd like to get to the real thing. Would you please stand? See, they're very attentive. I thought everybody else was coming up. Okay, first on the list is 1988 grads who have met the requirements set forth by the North Dakota State Department of Public Instruction and are now required to receive diplomas are Carrie Anna Bergrud, Geraldine Ann Bingham, Curtis Lee Broughton, Shelley Don Broughton, Kathleen Marie Dahl, Fab Allen Engberg, no nicknames. Beth Annette Erickson, you're popular. I've been waiting for this one. Chadwick Ray Hill. Tracy Marie Holje. Edward Fabian Jones. Eric David Carlsbrotten. Donna K. Kranig. Next, my nervous neighbor, Bradley Wayne Lansom. Lisa Ruth Nelson. Just one. Next, my secretary ex parte, which is departing this year, helped a lot in the office, Nicole Rochelle Nelson. Richard Lynn Olson. Janet Eloise Rasmussen. John Gilbert Sufferud. Julie Marie Wick. Don't feel bad, Paul. Somebody has to be last. Paul Nathan Williams. So you get 4. The worst thing, Paul was real good in math. Thank you. The class of '88.
Benediction. Almighty God, you have blessed us each with a unique gift, and you have called us into specific occupations, relationships, and activities using those gifts. Enable us to use our talents to communicate your love to people we meet each day. Empower us to be people of reconciliation, love, hope, and justice, and keep us steadfast. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Look at that nice cake that has to be all cut up.
David, should I let you do it now?
No, I just knocked the corners off. I knocked the back corner off that the other day as soon as she brought it in the house.
It's really pretty. I'm sure that was
Is that right?
then we got dining table or whatever. That's fakes.
No, you want to just set it over there?
I think maybe things will go down. What time is she check out?
Looks a nice day.
It's easier for you to take a picture this way.
Well, I don't know. We can even see you when you're in the shade, but we'll try.
Here, Sean. That's a good thing the weather stays cool.
Yeah.